It was a good win over a good team. I'm delighted with the fact that we were able to get this one. Held another team under 1 point per possession, that's starting to become a pretty good habit that we're getting into. But probably most excited about how we withstood some of their punches that they threw at us in terms of, it seemed like every time we had a chance to get some traction and pull away, they had a big shot. So guys did well, proud of them. Go take some finals, and we probably need to work on getting a couple more guys through that rotation.
I thought this was a good toughness one for your club. The way you guys paid attention to detail and played on the defensive end, I guess, and found answers each time they pushed back.
Yeah, and then I think toughness. I don't get overly effusive about other people's teams, but that Radford team is a tough-nosed bunch, and first on the floor for loose balls, just scrapping for every offensive rebound. I mean, we haven't had too many people. Them and Xavier have been the only two that have really been able to hurt us on the offensive glass. But again, it's what you'd expect out of a team that's gone into Notre Dame and gone into Texas and looked them right in the eye. And both those games, they were missing somebody too. So they had a full roster tonight, and we were able to get a win.
I guess more to my point, for a team that has some youth, has some sorting out to do, your club, to bounce back from a tough finish the other night and to play fairly consistently from start to finish is an encouraging sign.
Absolutely, and to manufacture down the stretch the types of shots that we got. The defensive end has been pretty solid for us all year, and they certainly had guards that could come at you. But to be able to generate offense, you think about Gavin's possession where he could have taken the three and threw it to a wide open Doug underneath the hoop. Take it, you have Doug's dump down to, I think it was Antonio, on a cut, on a post double that was coming. And again, to stay patient. This team is absolutely gonna drive me nuts with our turnovers. If we can get that straightened out, I think you'll see a really efficient offensive basketball team.
Could you touch on the way Doug controlled? Again, he 7 points, but I thought he controlled things in the paint with the way he was able to rebound the ball.
Yeah, he hit 2 big free throws late, three or four late. But yeah, he affects the game in so many ways. And if you look at a box score, you miss the story on him, because it isn't even the number of shots that he blocks. It's the number of times that he gets over and just affects the shot. And obviously 5 offensive rebounds is pretty good too. But the defensive end, he controls a lot. They went super small late, and it would have been easy for me to go small. I stuck with him because I just believe he can guard. He can get a stop when we need it.
I bugged you about this the other day, but this is 2 games in a row now where Jason Preston looked more aggressive anyway at the offensive end. In what ways will that help your club as a whole when he starts to become more comfortable and that starts to become a more regular occurrence?
It'll make us much more efficient. Hopefully open up some things for other players as well. I mean, I think teams were starting to ignore him a little bit, and tonight he wasn't going to be ignored, and second half against Xavier he wasn't going to be ignored. It surprises me not in the least, because we've seen it from him so regularly in practice. And for a guy that's always been on the ball his whole career. But I saw something neat tonight too. I saw TK tee up a couple plays for him and say, okay, Jay, you're coming. This is your time. And I think that's terrific leadership out of TK.
You guys have 17 turnovers, but Radford gets 15 points off those turnovers. You kind of weigh with the good with the bad there because of how well you're playing defensively.
No, I don't weigh any good at all when we have that many turnovers. It's completely lopsided. prided myself my entire career in getting teams to take care of the basketball. We're not doing that yet. But the good news is that while we're not doing that, we're still winning basketball games against, we won 3 or 4 out of teams that went to the tournament last year. That's a pretty good stretch. I like being insistent on my teams not turning it over, so I like to go through the passing drills that our guys are going to get to go through all finals week.
Coach, you mentioned in your opening statement that you want to stretch out the lines a little bit more, only 7 guys tonight. Is there anybody in particular you're expecting to add to the lineup?
They need to answer that question. Somebody's got to step up. And, I've seen flashes out of Connor Murrow lately. Mason certainly has had stretches where he's been very good, and Torrey's capable too. And part of it is me just having to pull a plug and invest in somebody a little bit as well. But yeah, we gotta stretch that out a little bit more. I'm riding guys too much right now.
And then, obviously, they start fouling at the end of the game, but 2 free throws in the first half, 23 in the second half. You guys did a great job attacking the paint.
Yeah, and 4 of 10 threes, which it can be more than that, but that shows you how. I mean, TK was absolutely trying to put the ball at the front of the rim every possession, and sometimes that does lead to turnovers. It's easy to not turn it over if you pass once and jack a 3. Sometimes getting in there is a little dirty work. I'm not talking about those kind of turnovers. I'm talking about the station-to-station passes. Antonio throws it out of bounds when Doug's on the baseline. Not being aware of a back tap. Just things like that we really should be able to eliminate those without a lot of.
Jason Carter was good offensively tonight, but I thought he was better defensively. You guys were able to pretty much control play throughout.
Yeah. Again, I don't try to gush too much about the other team, but one guy that really stood out to me on their team was Polite, and he's had some big games against guys that are maybe a little longer, more athletic, and containing Kalik and Polite off the dribble was absolutely bold letter at the top of everything what we had to get done. Jason did a great job of that. If you'd have told me 2 for 8 before the game for Polite, I'd have said deal. And he did it well with fouls late too. So, but he gets some help in there too. And I think Jason's smart enough to know that if he stays between his man and the basket, big old Doug's going to be patrolling in there behind him. That makes you a better defender too.
Coach, you're 6-3 in the finals week. You're undefeated at home. As Doug Taylor and I knocked out with, you guys are completely healthy. Is it pretty nice to be in this position compared to a year or even 2 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, last year our record wasn't terrible at this time of the year, but we certainly were coming to the realization that Jason was done for the year. Ben was already out for the year. Jordy was starting to break down a little bit. If a breeze picked up, Mike Laster's shoulder would fall out of socket. Yeah, we had a lot on our plate at this time last year, and this feels a lot different. But it also feels a lot different because of the type of defense we're playing and because of the way that we're able to generate points at the rim. This is fun.
But it's nice knowing that Laster's shoulder went down, pop it up, and stay in the final this week.
Exactly. He reached for his pencil and, yeah, I mean, and I think we try to do a really good job of managing the physical activity of our guys throughout the.
I was just saying that overall, it just seemed like this team much healthier.
Absolutely. Well, and you know what? As you get stronger, as you get older, we're a healthy program with a healthy team in a healthy spot right now, and that's a good place to be.
Radford's biggest scoring run was 7. How were you guys able to never let them chip too much into that lead? I know that it kind of got back and forth there in the second half, but at the same time, you took a 15-point lead 8 minutes into the game and really never let them.
Yeah, and that's a hard team to hold down like that too, because they are, I talk a lot about them offensively to you guys, they're a really good defensive team too. I mean, they play a little slower tempo. You don't get as many cracks at it, and you got to take advantage of them because they can dig. Their guards make it difficult for you. How are we able to do it? Getting the line a bunch in the second half helped. In the first half, not allowing them to get to the free throw line. I mean, I think we fouled with 20 seconds left. I look up, it's our 5th foul of the half. Being able to defend well without fouling is an art form. I mean, it is really, really important. And you think about teams that you would consider great defensive teams, one of the components of that is they can shut you down without committing silly fouls. Now, we commit silly turnovers. If we can eliminate the silly fouls and the silly turnovers, now I think we'll have a fighting chance to really get some things done.
Were you kind of frustrated when Caleb Tanner gets 3 threes off and sinks them all there towards the end of the first half? Were you thinking you guys might be in a little bit of trouble?
I was expecting, if not him, someone to step up and do that. But honestly, we watched him. I froze his shot on his shot is eerily similar to Dardis's in terms of his base and his release. And the first one he got on us was in transition, and then he shot one from the whiskers out there at the Bobcat, and the third one he got us on some action. But we had a hand up. Listen, you're playing against a good team. They're going to get you somehow. But we did a good job of blowing up that elevator screen after he hit one in the second half. And part of being a good defensive team is not committing the same mistake over and over again. He's a good player on a good team. And, we had a lot of attention shifted. And Antonio can be a bit of a blanket. In the first half, he really was on Carlik. Whenever he came out, we were putting Antonio over on old Caleb Tanner because he certainly was locked in tonight.
What do you think you guys did against Tanner in the second half? I think he only took 1 3-point.
Yeah, he hit the first elevator cut that he took. And again, it was a spot where if you get a stop and get a score, it's the math, the probability of winning goes way up if we get that one stop. And that kid, again, they set a good screen, and we didn't shut down that gap. Guess we're never going to shut anybody out. That's no good.
And then offensively, you guys only had 11 assists, but it didn't seem like the ball movement was terrible all night. I think that's just an unlucky number.
It's funny because I played in a program, believe it or not, with all his athletic ability at the Division III level, where we really fed the post a lot and we really scored around the hoop. And there are times where it's hard to generate assists that way all the time. I know this. I don't worry about the number of assists. I worry about, are we getting good shots and are enough people touching the basketball? And I thought, other than our turnovers, I thought, it might not be, we weren't a Lamborghini tonight, we were a pickup truck, right? It was just grind. And that kind of fits this team. We're tough. Kind of fits the MAC, doesn't it?